talk to me. He is just crazy when he's like this.
He's always crazy. Why don't you get a massage? Take a cruise.
Drop the weapon and put your hands on your head.
I warned him.
You insensitive prick. You have any idea how much that stings?
Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1027, directed by Tatsuya Nagamine and supervised by Midori Matsuda and Keita Saito. While the preview hasn't shown much quite like last week, the on-model art from series character designer Matsuda is already looking as polished as ever next to what little we can see of Saito, and the tiny peek that we get at the varying major action scenes for both the Moss Head and the Tattooed Doctor have me excited to see just what Nagamine has in store for not only the full-length cuts themselves, but his overall direction and really the episode as a whole. So will episode 1027 follow up last week's powerhouse of an episode with a series director slammer? Let's try to tame the beast and find out. This episode covers the majority of chapter 1010, and while I will just say right off the bat that I feel like they got the tone right for the most part, I wasn't really feeling the pacing of the episode on the whole. The episode itself doesn't cover as much content as I thought it would initially, and that results in them having to compromise with some scenes, but I feel like unfortunately rather than crafting some original action other than a few more Ashura swings, that Nagamine decides to just prolong Big Mom's fall to extreme lengths instead, and also plays it again for a quick bit at the start of the B part with the added scene of Law's crew seeing her survive, which is a cutaway that I honestly wish we got more of because the episode itself just doesn't feel all that really majorly exciting as a result until we reach most of the second half, where it really does ramp up that feeling that I mentioned prior in both direction and OST selection. But that A part and some of B is a bit of a slog to get through despite it housing a similar directorial feeling in places, and that serves to weigh down the episode a fair bit sadly when you see them do the Ashura moment quite well in all honesty. I'm sure there's a reason for the well-being of the production as a whole that they decided to go a bit slower here and not as action heavy, but I still have my thoughts on it regardless. If nothing else, Nagamine really knows how to use his knowledge of scale to create a board that feels really uniquely large even when paired to other rooftop episodes, with the landscapes feeling exceptionally 3D through depth of field and parallax and just generally great compositions all in all, that in the more quiet shots really help sell the tenseness of the situation at hand. And that's something I feel even the non-roof portions like Big Mom falling and the Ashura action also get down right, as they also feel similarly big and just uniquely boarded. Only being added to with the trademark Umakoshi eyes and black and white moments that single out the blood spewing out of Kaido, that adds a big punch to everything as per usual. Throw in the fact that Yen BM Zoro scene itself was incredibly well done for having to animate two difficult designs like Hybrid Kaido and Ashura, and really managed to still feel 3D on top of that as well, having that same visceral punch that an Ishizuka Zoro scene would have. And 1027 is certainly the weakest of the stretch, but it at the very least got the key moments of it down right. It's a bit sad, but due to the overall nature and health of the production, that this episode couldn't go as hard as it could have. And that was likely decided from the moment that the scripts were being prepared that this would be the more lax one. But when it at the very least didn't botch Zoro's big moment itself, and when the B part itself is largely pretty good, I think I'm perfectly content with it being fairly mediocre, I suppose. However, next week we're only lunging right back into the heat with episode 1028 that looks incredibly exciting. On top of just having buttloads of Naoto Shishida in the preview, Yasunori Koyama's unique sense for colors and the like is on full display here and shines just as bright as Luffy's hockey powers themselves. So I'm very ready to see how they bring such an awesome moment to life and for what else the episode itself has in store. Anyways guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and at the very least Umakoshi got to do some cool attack cards.